Hi, I'm Kevin, a PhD student at the University of Washington. I'm pleased to share with you our new work on the collaborative practices and tools of professional UX practitioners in software organizations. This is joint work with Tony Lee and Amy Zhang at the Social Futures Lab here at the University of Washington. Interface design has become a collaborative practice. The rise of tools such as Figma has pushed collaborative features and considerations to the forefront of design. Now, design tools enable new collaborative possibilities such as multi-user editing, collective ideation and discussion, and even a community of practitioners who share reusable templates and extensions. However, this collaborative shift is not without its pitfalls. Users of these tools have expressed concerns of oversharing and feeling watched while they work, while research has warned about collaborative breakdowns when designers work closely but ineffectively with non-designers. All this is to say that although collaboration is quickly dominating UX practice, there are still many unanswered questions, challenges, and needs. This motivated us to ask the following questions. Who do UX practitioners, or UXPs for short, even collaborate with? 2. What kinds of tools and tool-based collaboration strategies are they using? 3. What kinds of practices and challenges arise when they hand off their work to software developers and ML practitioners for implementation? And 4. What are their current expectations and practices around managing design systems collaboratively? To answer these questions, we surveyed 114 industry UXPs. Of our participants, 59% identified as female, 39% as male, 1% as non-binary, and 1% preferred not to disclose. Most were in their early or mid-careers with between 3 to 10 years of experience. Most worked in large organizations of over 1,000 people, and most worked in UX teams of between 2 to 4 people. We used the survey to capture both high-level patterns in the field, as well as learn about specific practices through free response answers. Let's now dig into some of our findings. First, we wanted to know who UXPs collaborated with across design stages, if anyone. We found that UXPs collaborated with a wide range of roles, with product managers being the most frequent collaborators. Breaking this down, we see that some roles, such as UX researchers, were closer collaborators towards the early parts of the design process, while some, such as software developers, saw more collaboration towards the end. How did collaboration with non-UX roles even start? 63% of collaborations were initiated by UXPs themselves, while 28% were initiated by non-UXPs. This means that most collaborations started when UXPs sought others' input on their work, rather than the other way around. Now that we know the prevalence of collaboration, we want to learn more about UXPs' tools and practices. We found that Figma dominated as an all-in-one tool across all 5 stages. That said, all of the top 5 software tools across all stages contain collaborative features and affordances for social presence, such as cursors and avatars of other users. When working synchronously in a shared multiplayer canvas, UXPs often invited others to the canvas as editors, while they themselves took on the role of an owner who generated the initial artifacts. When working asynchronously in those same environments, comments were often used to give feedback on the work, but annotations in the form of text written beside designs were often used to explain design decisions. Many UXPs also documented their process by simply relying on the history of their version tracked files. Let's take a closer look at a particularly challenging collaborative practice where this might be applicable: developer handoffs. Handoffs are when UXPs hand off their design work for implementation via code. We found that when UXPs invited developers to shared canvases to inspect designs, developers could feel lost and frustrated when navigating the canvas. In other words, it can be easy to overshare details and leave collaborators feeling confused. Another tricky problem is design development divergence, where the resulting implementation diverges from the original designs. This can be due to many factors, such as technological limitations or lack of implementation guidance. We found this was prevalent in practice. 83% experienced divergence either some or almost all the time, despite desire for the contrary. For those who experienced divergence, how did they handle it? We found that 59% ended up changing their designs to match implementation. Unfortunately, 10% actually needed to discard their original designs entirely and start again from screenshots of the implementation. Even though collaborative tools make it easier for UXPs and developers to work together, friction during handoff is still by no means solved. Now, I'll pass it over to Tony to talk about a scenario where increasing collaboration can actually complicate things even more.
Thanks, Kevin. Let's talk about design systems. Design systems are used to standardize and document design work for reuse. especially in larger organizations. Indeed, 82% of UXPs expected their work to be reused by others, while 71% reported using designs from other UXPs within their organization. However, managing design systems and collaborative tools can bring about new challenges. For one, there is ambiguity over ownership and responsibility for maintenance. This meant that multiple collaborators can contribute at different times and the system could easily become out of date. Additionally, guidelines from design systems can feel overly strict and difficult to scale when trying to satisfy needs from diverse collaborators. Overall, the rigidity of a design system can scaffold UX practice, but it can also cause issues in collaborative contexts. That concludes some of the findings. Let's send it back to Kevin.
Thanks, Tony. Given what we've learned so far, what does this mean for UX practices and tools going forward? I'm now going to introduce two implications. You can find more in our full paper. We know from our findings on design systems that there's often little guidance over who's responsible for maintaining and enforcing the system. This erodes its potential to be trusted and adopted. To address this, we propose a governance handbook to be a core component of design systems. This handbook may include assignment of moderators to review new components, guidelines for moderators to resolve inconsistencies in the system, and procedures for users when adding new components. Just like how governance policies can help manage a scalable online community, a governance handbook may likewise help manage a scalable design system. This can help UXPs collaborate with other UXPs, but what about non-UXPs? Here's Tony again.
One of our prominent findings was that Figma's all-in-one environment was very appealing for UXPs throughout the design process. However, challenges arose when inviting collaborators to the shared canvas, such as feeling lost when navigating excessive details. To address this, we proposed design tools to enhance support for multiple collaboration modes. These modes should be flexible and modular with mode-specific attachments. For example, a designer may launch a developer mode in which only certain screens are shown to developers, accompanied by a web inspector attachment to help developers extract live code snippets. When working with copywriters, a mode featuring an interface for commenting on and critiquing text may be more helpful than a traditional design environment. By shifting to a multimodal approach in which certain portions of the design work are surfaced at once, all-in-one tools can still benefit from the convenience of working across design stages while also fostering multi-role collaboration. And here's Kevin to wrap up.
To recap, we surveyed 114 UX practitioners in software organizations to better characterize their collaborative practices and tools. We found that collaborations happen throughout the design process and that tools for supporting them were ubiquitous. However, this also introduced some new possibilities for collaborative friction. Hopefully, you can see how some of our proposed implications, such as a governance handbook for design systems and multimodal support for design tools, can help mitigate some of that friction. Of course, our study is not without its limitations. We only surveyed UXPs and have yet to hear from their non-UX collaborators, such as product managers. We also only focused on participants in the US to ensure consistent organizational understanding of UX, which may have missed more global perspectives. But overall, we're excited about the future of collaborative UX and how our work and future work can not only offer opportunities for collaboration, but also enrich those collaboration experiences. You can check out our full paper for so much more. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy CHI 2023.